chilling in my car. My son has baseball practice inside this sketch warehouse over here. But I wanted to come on live. I don't come on live on YouTube very often. And they got this cool vertical format. And who knows what's going to happen to TikTok? I have a huge following there, over 800,000 people. And uh, I got mixed feelings about it, right? I'm not sure. Is it a good app? Is it a Chinese spy app? I have no idea. I'm just there to create content and try to educate people and inspire people. So I'm super stoked to be here though on YouTube. I've been putting more in time and energy into YouTube, and I'm super excited to be here. So I did want to talk in this chat and open the door to talk about the differences between a rich mindset and a poor mindset and why it matters. So if you don't know much about me, I am a financial psychologist. So I first became a clinical psychologist. I got my doctorate in clinical psychology from Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio, a PsyD. And I went into psychology because I wanted to help people. And I happen to come from what I would describe as a fairly dysfunctional family of origin. My parents split up when I was two. We did not have much money. Loving parents, but divorced, hating each other, lots of fights. And they were teachers, so public school teachers. And when they divorced, immediately the net worth obviously got cut in half. Things became really, really stressful for the family. And we went through very long periods of time of not having much money. So my father lived in various places, renting out people's upstairs, taking care of their horses, taking care of their farming to make ends meet while also being a teacher. My mom would rent out our basement to a revolving um, series of tenants. We had one bathroom in the house, so that was a challenge. But that's what we did to make ends meet. So we didn't have much money. And what I realized as at a young age was that first of all, being poor sucks. That's chapter one of my new book, Start Thinking Rich. When you don't have money, you just don't have access to a lot of things that it would be great to have access to. Lots of things you miss out on. And if you are struggling financially, I want you to know that I get it. I get it. Being poor sucks. But I am here to actually inspire you. What's up, SK? Thanks for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm talking about rich mindset versus poor mindset. But what I observed as a child was that my family, God-fearing, loving, hardworking people, and my entire family system on both sides, both my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, my paternal grandparents lived in trailer parks when I was growing up. What kind of car is this? It's a Toyota. Um, I drive Toyotas, partially because my wife is Japanese, but also they're very reliable. And I'm not a flashy car kind of guy. This is a Toyota Highlander. I enjoy it, and I also have a Toyota 4Runner. What kind of car do you drive, by the way? So, one of the things I'll say about rich mindset versus poor mindset, most millionaires in the United States are self-made. Now, this is great news. When I heard this, it immediately made me feel like I had a shot at it. You know, smart people drive Toyota. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you. I'll take the compliment too. And where was I? Okay, yeah. So most millionaires in the United States are self-made. So this is an extremely inspiring statistic. I got really, really stoked when I heard that because I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I've actually done a lot of research on the psychology of wealth, and you can Google these. These are published in academic journals and everything. But one of my favorite books is called The Millionaire Next Door. Because when you grow up lower income like I did, you have a poor mindset, but you don't even know it. You don't know what kind of mindset you have until you're exposed to other mindsets. And so, where I grew up, again, hardworking, God fearing, great people, generous, loving, but nobody knew how to get rich. Nobody knew any rich people. We didn't know how rich people invested. We didn't know how they thought. In our neighborhood, there weren't any rich people. It was almost like an entirely different culture or country. And we made up stories about these people. And partially because of ignorance, like we didn't know any better. And secondly, it made us feel better about ourselves to a degree. So we would feel somewhat morally superior to people who are rich. You drive a Honda Insight Civic. Awesome. Yeah, great cars. So you feel somewhat morally superior to quote evil rich people because how are these people getting rich? Well, they must be taking advantage of other people. That's how they're doing it. Yes. So, okay, great. I wish I had more money. Of course I do, deep down, but at least I can feel somewhat better about myself because those people who are rich, clearly they're not as good of a person as I am. And a lot of this is subconscious, but that is a story that we will make up about rich people to make ourselves feel better about who we are. Now, what's so fascinating is that people who have this belief, rich people are greedy, money corrupts, there's virtue in having less money. Um, Money's associated with greed. You got to get rich, you have to take advantage of others. I've done a bunch of studies on this, and we call those money beliefs money avoidant beliefs. So they're anti-rich people, they're money bad beliefs, that kind of thing. Now, no big surprise, but this belief pattern is a poor mindset and it's associated with terrible financial outcomes. So I'm not here to say you should look at rich people as if they're good for the benefit of rich people. Like rich people don't care. They don't need your help. I'm doing it for your benefit. If you have this negative association between money and character, it's going to be very bad for you because you are going to subconsciously repel money. So all the studies we've done, those beliefs, those money avoidant beliefs, rich people are greedy, money corrupts, associated with terrible financial outcomes, self-destructive financial behaviors. It's not good for you. Now, what's so fascinating about this belief pattern, this money avoidance, money script pattern, is there are other patterns of money scripts. And there's another category of money scripts that we call money worship or money focused. These are beliefs like your self-worth equals your net worth or your money's going to solve all my problems, it's going to make my life perfect. You put money on a pedestal, you put stuff on a pedestal. So the more stuff I buy, the better I feel. The more money I have, I can get more stuff, I'll be happier. So there's this sense that having more money and more stuff is going to solve all your problems, it's going to make you happy. It's exactly what you need. So there's a lust for money with this money belief pattern. Now ironically, this putting money on a pedestal is also associated with bad financial outcomes. And partially because we have a tendency to overspend when we have that mindset. Now, this is the fascinating part. The people in our studies, there is a huge, huge association. There's like 0.45 for you statistical nerds, the correlation, positive correlation between higher scores on money avoidance. So people who believe money's bad, rich people are greedy, money corrupts, and also a desperate desire to be rich. More money's going to solve all my problems. I wish I had more money. Isn't that interesting? So the people who hate rich people the most are the ones who most desperately want to be rich. Now, what a confusing mindset. And people tie themselves in knots when they have this competing pattern inside their brain. What happens is they start to have some success. They start to grow a business, whatever. Their bank account starts to grow. They start to have some investing success and then they sabotage it. Do you know why they sabotage it? Because all of a sudden, oh, I have more money than the people around me. I have more money than I should. So there's a sense of guilt. A lot of this is subconscious. There's a sense of, ugh, I want to get back to my family and friends. I want to get back to their socioeconomic status level. In my books and my research, we call this your financial comfort zone. You have a financial comfort zone. I have a financial comfort zone. It is really, really important that you understand what your financial comfort zone is. Because the bottom line is if you grew up poor, you're low income now, you're comfortable in that situation. Now, I know you might be saying, no, Dr. Brad, it sucks. Of course it sucks. I know it sucks. I've been there. But there's a level of comfort you have in that socioeconomic status. And one of the reasons why it's so difficult to break out of it is because it's the same socioeconomic status as our closest family and friends. And we have a biological, evolutionary, psychological desire to stay so close to our family and friends in every area, but money included. And money is a huge one. It's a huge one. And so what happens is our cave person, hunter gatherer brain kicks in. As soon as we start to get ahead, as soon as we start to surpass our friends or family members, what happens to us psychologically is we go back 100,000 years ago and we start to get really, really afraid. And all this is happening underneath the surface. And I want you to think about it. I want you to think about if you've ever had more money than someone close to you, or if someone close to you started to have more money than you, what happened? What started to happen? Well, we see this all the time. By the way, thanks for the likes and thanks for being here. And dump any questions that you have in this live stream. Happy to answer them. But what happens is that thousands of years ago, we were in groups of 100 to 150 people, okay? And we were closely connected to these groups of people. And if we started to separate from those people, we would die. If they left us sitting there, we would die. We'd get eaten by a predator. A warring tribe would kill us. We'd starve to death. So we are desperate, desperate to be closely connected to the people that we love. You ain't afraid of anything when you got God on your side. I love it, Wayne. I totally agree. I'm a believer, my friends, but we are connected to people. We want to be connected to people. And so, what's so fascinating is we see people all the time who come into large sums of money, and quite often it's most challenging when it happens fast. So, you see people who win the lottery, you see people who get a big sports contract or a big music contract, or they start to make some money, right? What do they do? What do most people do? Let me know in the comments. When you see that somebody won the lottery, so they were dirt broke and now they're mega millionaires, what do you think happens? Let me know in the comments. Well, studies show that most people blow the money. And what's crazy is they end up right back where they started. And this makes no logical sense because certainly they didn't need to do it. Certainly they want to be rich. Being poor sucked, but they're right back where they started. It makes no sense. It makes sense if you think about it from the psychological angle. And so this is how it goes. I'm seeing a yup from Wayne. Psychologically, you're being separated from your tribe, creates all this anxiety, and then you subconsciously blow it. And so this is a challenge. So one of the most difficult things about a poor mindset is that you surround yourself with other people who have poor mindsets because that's the results you get. So your financial results are in direct response to your mindset. So if you are broke, you probably have a broke mindset, or a poor mindset, I should say. There's no problem with being broke. I was broke. Many people are broke. Most millionaires in the US are self made, so they didn't start out rich. There's nothing wrong with that. But a poor mindset can keep you broke forever. So we have to eradicate the poor mindset. And so one of the poor mindsets that I'm talking about here is money avoidance. The belief that money is bad, rich people are greedy. The only way to get rich is to take advantage of others. Now, the problem with this belief, well, problem is that some rich people are nasty human beings. Some rich people take advantage of other people. So if that's your belief, you will find evidence to support that belief. You're going to find greedy, nasty, horrible rich people who've done terrible things to other people. But, it's only part of the story. Wayne says most people are afraid to take a chance, especially you get too comfortable with being broke. Absolutely, Wayne. And not only that, people don't know what the roadmap to success is. And they're typically surrounded by other people who are broke and don't know the roadmap to success. And so you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to move ahead. And quite frankly, a lot of times it puts your relationships at risk because now you're starting to distance yourself from your closest family and friends. So that's one mindset, money avoidance. Another one is I call it money status beliefs. And this one is so terrible because I don't see it as much on YouTube, but I see it all the time on Instagram and TikTok. I see these flashy displays of wealth. I'm not afraid to take the lonely road. Wayne, I appreciate that. It is the lonely road until you meet people along the journey who are on the same journey you are. And that's really one of the hacks. So I continue to do this. I try to find someone, whatever the goal is. in my life, I try to find someone who's a step or two ahead of where I'm at, and I pick their brain and I try to figure out what it is they're doing. I'll give you a quick example. I'm addicted to pickleball right now. And so some pickleball paddles are better than others. And so, how do I find the right pickleball paddle? Well, I'll tell you what, I don't ask people who are worse than me. I don't even ask people who are at the same level as me. What I do is I try to find someone who's better than me and I say, so what sort of paddle do you recommend? So this is what I do. And I do this in every area of my life. I try to find people who are at least a step or two ahead of where I am. They're on the path to where I want to be, or maybe they're already there. And I try to learn from them. I try to learn from them because if I keep hanging around people just like me who are just as good at things as I am, I'm not going to get any better. And again, this applies to your financial life. It applies to any goal that you want to achieve in life. Find someone a step or two ahead of where you want to be. Okay, so I talked about money avoidance. I do want to talk about money status as another poor mindset that keeps people poor and broke forever. You need to get rid of this one. It is the belief that your self-worth equals your net worth, that you're not going to buy something unless it's new, that if you're going to brag about how much money you have, how much stuff you have. This is not what rich people do, people. And it's really challenging because you're going to see tons of people doing this on social media. You're going to develop this idea that, oh, rich people are flashy, they have flashy stuff. That's not what they do. That's not what they do. Most rich people in all the studies, by the way, downplay how much money they have. Most rich people downplay the stuff they have. I did a study where we looked at people at $11 million in net worth and we compared them to a group of people that had $500,000 in net worth. So they're doing well, but like these other people had like 20 times more money, super, super rich. We asked them how much money they spent on their last house vacation, watch, and car, and they only spent twice as much as the people who had $500,000. So these people had 20 times more money. They're only spending twice as much. What does that tell you about a rich mindset? It tells you that a rich mindset is focused on saving and investing. It's a poor mindset that is focused on buying crap because once you buy it, you no longer have the money. And this is a bitter pill for people to swallow. And I'll hear a lot of times in the comments, well, what's the point of being rich then if you can't buy fancy stuff? And my point is financial freedom, baby. How about owning your time? Isn't that rich to be able to do whatever you want when you want, to be able to, not go to work for a couple weeks and not worry about paying your bills? Oh, goodness. So, you want to get rid of these poor mindsets. You need to understand how rich people live, how rich people invest, what they actually do. Wayne, I'm super stoked you're doing good with day trading. I'm not a fan of it. 97% of day traders over time lose money. I I am a asset manager, so I manage $800 million. And my partners and I do, and we would never day trade with it ever, ever, ever. And by the way, if day trading was the way to go, I'd be doing it. I'd be making videos right now about how great it is. The studies show it's terrible. So I wish you luck. I hope you beat all the odds, but be careful, my friend. Be careful. And so that's one of the things I strongly recommend people do. Study the psychology and the mindset. You're doing pretty well. Great, Wayne. I hope it continues, man. I hope it continues. I hope you beat all the odds. Um, if whatever it is you want to get good at, try to find someone a step or two ahead of you. Understand how rich people actually spend money. They are frugal. They downplay how much money they have. They're not addicted to stuff. If you're addicted to stuff, you will not be rich because you will take the money that comes into your life and then you will then turn it over to corporations to get their fancy whatever the heck it is you think you need to impress your friends. You don't do it. That's not what rich people do. That's not how they live their life. So I plan on doing more lives. I want to talk about a rich mindset, share everything I can. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Wayne. I wish you the best, my friend. And I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all.